Good morning. It's August 17th, 2023, and we're in the art studio with Donna Lewis. Good morning, Donna.
Gary.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thanks.
Very good. Donna's been with us for 10 days here at Art in Motion, and she's been working on colorful collages. And Donna, can you tell us where you're from?
I'm from Central Texas, just north of Austin.
Okay, that's a long ways to come to Holdingford, Minnesota.
Yes.
Any connection to central Minnesota?
Yes, I do have roots in Minnesota. I lived in the Twin Cities area in Apple Valley for 11 years, raised my daughter there, and then returned to Texas.
Oh, very good. So, Donna, can you tell me a little bit about your art interest? Or I know you're into art collages, and we're going to look at those here very shortly. But can you tell me where your passion for arts kind of came in? And you know,
Well, it's a roundabout story. I went to college and got a business degree, and I worked as a computer programmer and business analyst for about 20 years. And in midlife, I realized that I wanted to do something more creative. So I was making quilts at the time, and I really liked the patterns of the fabric and putting things together, working with my hands. And so I did that for about 10 years, and I started to feel like an artist as I made more and more quilts. And one day I just thought I really would like to do something more creative in my work. So I thought perhaps I would switch to computer digital art of some sort, illustration or graphic design or web design or that sort of thing. But I found that I really liked the hands-on with materials. So I attended an art show, a local art show, and it was a watercolor. And I just fell in love with watercolor. So I started doing more and more watercolor and less quilting. And then eventually I ended up doing a collage in acrylic.
okay. Well, let's look at the material that you are working with. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the material or how you go about putting a collage together?
Yes, I start by making pattern paper with a monoprint process. And I use rice paper, and I also use parchment paper and deli wrap paper. And so I make the paper first, and for this series I was inspired by a photo of a flower that I took. And,
Right here on site.
Right here on site in the guest house back garden. And it's a pink flower, hyacinth, I think. And so it was my inspiration for the color palette that I used. So the first day I was here, I started doing monoprinting and made all these papers here. This is my attempt at organizing chaos.
Yeah.
But generally I start I use a color wheel, I do color swatches, and try to get a feel for what colors are going to go well together. And then out of my paper stash, I pull colors that appeal to me. And that's how I get started. I work intuitively. I really do not plan a sketch in advance. And interestingly, when I was doing quilting, it was all very planned because I had to decide on the quilt pattern, the quilt block, what size it was going to be, what fabric I was going to use. And I like this because it's there's much more mystery. I don't know what the end product is going to look like. And that keeps me engaged. It keeps me interested in the work.
Very good. Yeah, I like how it's kind of like building a foundation. You know, you got your color patterns here. You picked your color. that you're going to use with, and then you use your color wheel, and then you kind of pick your colors, and then you start building it up from right there, and you can see some of the outcomes of your little patterns that you put together.
Yeah.
So once you got your patterns put together, how do you go about deciding what's the overall pattern going to be in your collage?
Well, I love the accidents and the variety that happens on the paper. So I respond to what happens on the paper, and when I'm doing the monoprinting, I don't clean the plate every time. So I get an interesting mixture of color combinations. And then I choose my papers, and then the design element kicks in. And so I use what I've learned about design and composition over the years. And I like the starting point because it's random, and I get unpredictable results. And then I have to use a more structured approach to do the design and the composition.
So I see you have some stuff on the wall behind you. Can you tell me a little about, would that end up in a collage, or is that a final collage, or what?
This one I consider a finished
Okay,
piece.
very nice.
I'm happy with the design and the balance and the colors.
Yeah.
And so I think that's ready to go into a frame. And the others are all works in progress.
Okay, very good.
But they will end up being, they will not go into a larger piece. They'll be a standalone piece in and of themselves.
Okay.
But they will need a little bit more work. And what I'll do is I'll either make more papers, or I'll use my acrylic paint and go in and combine paint and paper to finish.
So like this one here that you said was finished, how do you adhere it to a piece of paper like that?
I use two products primarily. I like to use a glue stick, an archival glue stick, and this has worked well for me. The paper doesn't wrinkle. I also use a matte medium, or you can use a PVA glue, white glue basically. And I've used the white glue on this one, and that works well as well. So these are two of the primary products I use.
Very good. And you have to squeeze, make sure the glue's all squeezed out, or do you press it on there?
Yes,
You have a roller or something, I assume?
I use a brayer,
Okay, very good.
and I try to get all the wrinkles out. And
What paperweight are you using, do you know?
I'm using I use a very heavyweight mixed media paper.
Okay,
That's what the larger pieces are
Yeah.
on. The smaller pieces, it's a lighter weight
yeah.
paper. And as part of the process, I like to, some of the paper is more translucent than others. So you can see, this is a rice paper, and you can't really see through it, but this is a lighter weight paper. So I like to combine in one piece
Different paperweights,
a translucent paper with
Yeah. So you can
an
bring
opaque.
some of the
Yeah.
base color back through a little bit.
Yeah, I like to use differences, play
Yeah.
off the differences of the paper.
So I know you brought a collage from a previous piece of work you've done,
Oh.
and that's in that one you actually put print to it, old book print, and
Yes.
that was done prior your visiting here, and that's really intriguing as well.
This is a combination of paperback book covers and patterned paper that I made in the same way as this, acrylic paint, and old book pages.
Yeah.
So
Very good.
this is,
So do you do your own framing?
I do.
Okay.
I do. This This piece is actually done on a piece of plywood, and I like to work on a hard surface versus canvas because I can use
Now that's the one up there that you said it's almost to the finished stage.
Uh-huh.
Would you adhere that to a piece of plywood?
This one, I would see framing under glass,
Under glass?
which I also do.
Okay, so you would adhere to glass, be on back of it and on top of it, or
I would just put it matte.
mat
under
it to
a
glass?
mat
Yeah.
And a frame with glass.
Okay, so like a piece of cardboard behind it, just yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
A foam core backing
Yeah,
board.
yeah.
And I have in the past adhered this type of paper to a cradle board, it's called, or a birch panel.
Yeah.
And I will use a thick gel medium, and you can do it that way, and then top coat it with a UV protective
Mhm.
finish, and then it's hard and protected and
It's beautiful.
doesn't need glass.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
So Donna, do you sell your art, or is this for your kind of your own personal collection, or what's?
I do sell. I enter juried shows,
Okay.
and I also had a few small group shows that I've been part of.
Oh, very
And
good.
I sell work that way, and my husband and I have a studio in Texas. He does pottery, and I do painting.
Oh, what kind of pottery does he do?
He specializes in raku pottery.
Okay, raku.
So we purchased a former church building and renovated it and made a painting and a pottery studio.
Oh, wow.
So we have visitors to the studio, and
So you have open public hours?
we do not have any special hours at this point. It's,
If the car's there, you can knock on the door.
If we're here, we're open.
Yeah. Okay.
that
Very
sort of
good.
thing.
Oh,
But I love the concept of art in motion and how it brings the community together. And I would really like to incorporate some of your ideas in our space and bring in more of the community.
yeah. That's great. Well, thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Donna, one of the things that I really admire about your stay here too is you're an awesome journalist. Journal,
Oh,
you keep great
right,
journal. Can
right.
you just show us a couple pages of your journal? Just because I
Yeah.
just think that that's something that you're
Yeah, this is my constant companion when I've been at the studio, and I make notes. I do little drawings. This helps me. Here's my art in motion.
There you go. Look at that.
This helps me stay present
Yeah.
and stay in the moment, stay focused. And this is just
Oh, what a great keepsake too for you and your children
Right,
down the
right.
road when documenting the stuff that you were doing in the art
Right.
world. So just
So yeah.
well, you're
This
very
is-
good at that.
This is my best friend.
That's where the old computer programming, taking
Yes,
good notes,
yes.
and comes into play.
Yeah, it's a balancing act between the intellectual side and the creative
Yeah,
side.
yeah.
So,
Well, Donna, thank you so much. You've been a true joy here at Art in Motion. We enjoyed the stay with you, and we look forward to following you in your art studio in Central Texas.
well, thank you, Greg.
Thank you.
It's been an awesome experience.
Very good.